I've got Swoon, I've got Joy Around the World, I've got blocks of the month. So many fun things happening here in Edie's craft room, so let's jump in. Hello everyone, welcome to Edie's Craft Room. I'm Hannah Catherine Brand. Today we are going through my quilting progress because I have been doing a lot of sewing in the background, but just no final products yet. So I wanted to keep you updated with what's been going on in my sewing room. First things first, I got a new sewing machine. So I got the Juki 2000 QI. I absolutely love it. This has been a wish list item of mine for the last year or so. As I've really gotten into quilting, I knew I just had to have it. And my wonderful husband came through. This is kind of my Valentine's, anniversary, birthday gift all tied up into one. My poor husband, all three of those days fall within a couple weeks of each other, or even a couple days, depending upon the day. And so he was very smart this year and went ahead and combined all of them into this fabulous gift, and I absolutely love it. It has just been everything and more that I have dreamed of, although I am still getting used to it because it's quite different from my other machine. So with that, I have really wanted to spend a lot of time just sewing because I love sewing with it and, you know, experiencing that on the new machine. So less time cutting, pressing, pinning, you know. And because of that, I went ahead and pulled out one of my UFOs. This is Swoon by Thimble Blossoms. I'm sure many of you recognize this pattern. It is really the pattern that launched Camille Ross Kelly into, I think, fame and fortune, which good for her. It's absolutely beautiful. And I am making it just as this printing of the pattern shows with her lighthearted collection. So this quilt finishes at 80 inches by 80 inches. And as I said, I am using lighthearted. So this has been really fun because I already had all of my blocks cut out from previously, just I think a couple months ago. I spent just an afternoon cutting, and I'm so glad I did because now those pieces of fabric are all ready for me just to sew. So this quilt actually may be finished sooner rather than later just because I'm enjoying making it now with my new machine. My current favorite block of the month is the Dragon Fruit block of the month. This uses fabrics from Tula Pink and I absolutely love it. It is paper pieced, so that has been really fun and just really satisfying. Although with this one, I do have a good amount of cutting to do. So I have just a few blocks finished from, I don't know what month this is, I think month 3. I had finished the previous months and then took a massive break in quilting, and then now I'm coming back to it. So I'm playing catch up, and that's fine because I love this quilt and I love the pattern. I love the paper. I love the accuracy. Apparently I'm not a very good quilter because it's made me realize how inaccurate my normal piecing is and how much room to grow I have there, which I guess is a good thing. But these blocks are just absolutely beautiful, and the paper's really fun for me just to tear off when we're watching a movie or TV at night. My husband always makes fun of me, and I don't know, maybe sometimes it annoys him, but I am someone that I just need to be doing something with my hands. I can't just like sit and watch a screen. I need to be just doing something. So that is a great activity for me to take the backs off of those blocks and get some quilting done without physically being in front of my sewing machine or in my craft room. I also love this block of the month just because I love the fabric so much. Tula Pink is just, I think, one of the most incredible artists, period, but also one of the most incredible artists in the quilting game. Specifically, I think her and Lori Holt, just the stuff that they do is just it's on another level truly with how they execute and their brand and their consistency and commitment to their art. And so I have always admired her fabric from afar and admired watching her and her journey and being inspired by her, but have never really been able to figure out how to take her designs and make them into something that I really love in my style of quilting. And so I am really appreciative of Fat Quarter Shop putting this together and designing this quilt, because I think not only has it really resonated with me, but also other quilters that maybe like a little bit more of a traditional look when it comes to their piecing mechanism. So I'm really grateful to them, and then also of course to Miss Tula Pink for just giving us the best of both worlds with this project, and I'm really excited to see this come together. I think this block of the month only has like 9 months, and I want to say we're on like month 5, so more than halfway through, although of course I'm behind, but the program as a whole. And so that means we're going to get to see the final product sooner rather than later. Last but not least, I want to show you my Joy Around the World progress so far. This Around the World quilt is made up of 4 quadrants, so I have completed the first quarter of it, and I have all of my fabric cut out and all of my strips pieced. It's just a matter of pinning them all and then sewing them, and that pinning really does take a lot of time. Back to my point about accuracy, this quilt was much harder than I anticipated, just because your 2.5-inch squares that make up these strips really do need to be exact, because otherwise your points are just not going to line up at all. And I've really had to spend a lot of time pinning, because again, that accuracy just isn't quite there, and so pinning helps me get my points really to line up. This quilt is probably not going to be the flattest that I have ever made because of that, and because there are so many seams, but it's gonna get done, and I think it's still gonna look great. And you know, not to use this as a cop-out, but hopefully it's just going to quilt all out, or at least the majority of it will. I think it's probably a very good first attempt at an around the world quilt, and this is certainly a deceiving project. I still love it though, and this fabric is from Laundry Basket Quilts. It is the Joy line, and it's just so beautiful. And I think I've really been able to spend a lot of time working on this even in February, just because although this is a Christmas quilt to me, it doesn't read traditional Christmas, so I haven't gotten tired of it into the new year, which I think is really interesting and actually surprised me, because when I missed my Christmas deadline for this quilt, I really thought like, oh, I'm not going to see this again until like after Thanksgiving of next year, and then who knows if I'm going to get it done on time again. But because I've really enjoyed working on it, and the fabric just still really speaks to me, and it's not just overtly Christmas, I have really liked working on it. Like I said in a previous video, my new deadline for this quilt is Christmas in July, which I think I am going to make nice and easy. So really loving working on this. This is another great project that I can just pin while we're doing some evening TV time, and then when I have my own personal time to sew, I can just take it back to my sewing machine and do that. Lots of fun things happening in Edie's craft room as always. Thank you all so much for your love and support on my newest free pattern. If you missed that, I will be sure to link that video above. You can just go to my website, which is ediescraftroom.com, and download it there. This is a free pattern just to say thank you to all of those of you who watch me and support me, who send me sweet comments, and give me great inspiration each and every time I upload videos. So thank you, thank you, thank you. We fairly recently crossed the 5,000 subscriber mark, so I think this is a great time to celebrate that in this community, and by just saying thank you in a small way with this free pattern. So I hope you have been enjoying Alhambra, for those of you who have seen it before, and for those of you who may have missed it, go download this pattern. I think you'll love it. It's nice and easy and uses a layer cake, which is one of my favorite pre-cuts, and I'm sure you probably have 1 or 2 in your stash just waiting to be used and made into a beautiful quilt. There's certainly still much to be done in terms of my planned finishes for this year, but I'm feeling a lot better with the progress that I'm making now. And although I don't have any new finished quilts to show you at this point in time, at least I've been able to share a little bit of an update with you all, because I think that there are those of you who like to see those along the way. I know I certainly do as a viewer of other quilting channels here on YouTube. It inspires me to keep working, and that if you're gonna have to eat an elephant, you just have to do it one bite at a time. That's gonna do it for me here today in Edie's craft room. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, happy quilting. Bye-bye.